dude, like what the like you have like abandonment issues or something. Like that's crazy. Now they felt like they thinking that like I thought I was hot shit because I knew Bubbles, and I'm like, and I was like in the mix and stuff now, so I was like, what the thing. Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, my name is Alexisjayda and welcome. Today's notification shout out goes to Angelo Interrupted. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Te quiero mucho. It seriously means so much to me. Thank you, thank you. If you want to be part of the notification squad, all you have to do is just like this video, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you guys are notified when I do go live. Leave a comment down below, and your comment can possibly be the next notification shout out. I have been gone for a long time, a very long time. I haven't posted for 3 weeks. Last time I posted, I did a 2-hour story time, and I was actually just like that. A lot of you guys were like, girl, we need more of this. Like, you need to do more of the 2 hours. So it seriously meant a lot because I was like, oh my god, it's too long, it's too long, it's too long. But you guys were like, give us more. So thank you so much. I'm so sorry I did not post for 3 weeks. It has been extremely hectic and a blessing, and it's just been a lot, you guys. So I just want to thank you guys so much for being so understanding, and for the ones who wanted to rip me a new one, I'm sorry, but I just couldn't post and I couldn't respond, and it's just, I wish, or maybe I'm gonna have a day where I just record how a crazy day goes and a calm day, just so you can kind of see like how everything just like, it's just a lot. I was on the road for a good almost 3 months, but we stayed like in certain states for like a longer time. I was with my mom mostly and my grandma for like 2 months, and that alone, since I'm doing the Nanny series, you guys know there's a lot of trauma and a lot of stuff that is still buried, and I'm still healing. So it was it was hard, you know? So that as well is another reason why I couldn't just like film, because I was just too much in here. I don't ever want to do a video where I'm not in the right mind space, because I want you guys to watch my videos and be happy, and us like, you know, feel like it's chismeando, not me just being like, you know? So I'm back. So sit back, relax. Let me know what you guys are doing. If you're cleaning, if you're eating, if you're driving somewhere, let me know what you're doing. I would love to know down below. So this is going to continue on with my Nanny series. I have a Nanny series and I have a playlist. If you guys want to follow along, it'll make more sense, because the fam bam who have already like followed along, you guys know the names, what's going on, who's what, who's this, all of that. So if you just jump into this video, you're kind of gonna be like, the fuck? Like not really know what's going on. So I would highly recommend watching the Nanny series playlist. It's in order so you can see like, oh, this is why we're here. I will be doing separate storytime videos, and I will be doing other type of videos as well. I do have some boxes I want to show you guys. There's just so much I still want to talk about. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm just like, nervous, but I do want to play with makeup, and I do want to sit here and talk to you guys. I've been home for 3 days, and I'm like, okay, let's get it. So let's start and continue off with the Nanny series. First off though, real quick, I do want to play with this new palette. It's from ColourPop. It's a mood. It's a mood. Mira qué bonita, eh? Mira, look. Oh, it was so funny too. A lot of you guys were saying that my accent was coming out being with my family, and it's kind of funny because I know what you're talking about, because here I can't really chismear or like talk like, you know, I'm talking to my babe and like we talk a certain way, but like when you're in your family, like your accent comes out, and you just, I don't know, like you adapt to like where you're at. I don't know, it's freaking crazy. So it made me laugh when you guys were saying that. I was like, yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know what kind of look I'm going to be doing, but everything that I use will be linked down below in the description box if you're curious on what items I am using. We're gonna do a little recap. I got my heart broken, and I thought Mr. Right was Mr. Right and Mr. Right was Mr. Wrong. I was just going through a lot. I had an amazing time at the wedding. My employer, a jerk, an a-hole, and got offended because of the chisme, and honestly because of her own damn fault. After getting my heart broken, I literally just took some time for myself. I needed some time to just reevaluate what the heck is going on, because I literally felt so played and so confused. When you are young, you think that everything's going to be like a fairy tale, because that's pretty much what we grow up watching, right? We grow up watching like, well, Mr. Right comes around, or who you think is Mr. Right comes around, everything's just gonna fall into place, and that's gonna be your forever. And if this person's saying all the right things, like in the fairy tales, or even in movies that we watch, you know, the chick flick movies, we're like, oh my God, this is it, this is it. Even though I was so young, I always knew that I wasn't going to be able to be the type that can go from one relationship to another, to another, to another, to another, because I get too emotionally invested. I didn't want to do that because I knew that my heart wasn't, I couldn't do that, you know? My friend who had boyfriends and she could just be like, hey, bye, you know? I couldn't. I'm like, God, like, how can you just be like, hey, bye? Like, and it probably stems from like seeing the type of relationship my mother was in. It stems from like a bunch of things, okay? It's like a bunch of things. You feel like, okay, like that, you can't do that because no, you know? So I was literally just like, why? I don't understand. I don't get it. I wanted answers. I wanted to fight with him, but my pride was too strong in the sense of me just calling and talking to him, because I knew in my heart that it was just excuses. It was just excuses, because if he wanted to, he would, and he wanted to try and run some game, and I was just not about it. Because how am I gonna go from dumb to dumber? You know, it's just, nah, I wasn't about it. I didn't want it. I didn't want to do it. So I literally was just like in the room, just talking to myself, and I had called the Peaches because I'm like, okay, like, when am I gonna go into work? They want to catch a little attitude and be like, well, I don't know, due to some circumstances, we have to reevaluate what we're going to do. Trying to talk to me like all fancy smancy, and I was just like, okay, like, I'm gonna need some time myself. There was, you know, something happened in the family and I need my time. So they were okay with it. They were like, okay, pretty much do what you gotta do. And I was like, all right, bet. Like, I needed time to heal my heart. I was crushed, and it was so weird. Like, I was so upset with myself because even though we were never like intimate or anything like that, it was a whole different type of like heartbreak. And I was literally dealing with it by myself, because you know how sometimes like you have your girlfriends or you have someone that you can talk and deal with it. Well, Skillet was just freaking cold-hearted biatch and was just like, go get under somebody else, you know, or you're gonna be good. And I think at times I was just too sensitive, like, honestly, because it shouldn't have hurt me that much. I shouldn't have been so serious, so young, and wanted something so intimate like that, you know? And I always felt like in a way, I was just like pissed off, because I'm like, God, like, there's so many people who get their heart broken and they just move on. Like, why is this so deep for you, you know? I swear at times, like, my freaking life just felt like a movie. So like, I feel like it affected me differently, and it wasn't this sort of like, why me? It was just like, kind of like, why me? Like, I don't want to have these feelings. I didn't want this to happen. So I was just sitting there in my head for these few days, and I was just wanting to go back in time. Wanting to go back in time and change things, never run into bubbles. I wanted things to just stop. And then I kept telling myself, like, okay, you wanted them to stop? Don't talk to her anymore. If that's what you really want, don't talk to her anymore. And then I was fighting with myself, like, why can't I talk to her just because her son's an a-hole? Like, why can't I? Like, why can't I? So I literally did not message anybody, talk to anybody. I was just dealing with this myself. My mom was kind of seeing what was going on and asking me, like, what's going on? Like, are you okay? I was just telling her, like, Mom, I'm just too much in here. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, here, I just need to be alone. And my mom was already kind of like roller coaster. So she was just kind of was understanding to a certain point, but then get annoyed that, like, I wasn't just snapping out of it. And I didn't know how to even process pretty much like what I was feeling, because it was just something weird. I was just like, how can it hurt this much and we didn't even do all this stuff, you know? I was really like, what the heck is going on? So I took the time that I needed to build myself up and make my heart colder and be that bitch that I talk about of I don't give, because I kind of let it down with Joe. Like, even though I was being a little freaking head and be mean with him and like play with him, I let my guard down. And so I was mad at myself that I even allowed myself to pretty much get played. I let it happen. And I know you guys are gonna be like, what the heck? Like, you were a kid. But that's how I thought. I thought like that. I was like, it's my fault. Like, because you let the guard down, it's your fault. And so me telling myself, like, you stupid, you're dumb, you know, just disappointed. Like, how can you do this to us, Lex? Like, how can you do this to us? I swear I got my anxiety, a little bit of like anger, like my bipolar, and then I got like the chillax one, a bunch of just everything. So I'm like literally just like having all these arguments with myself in my head of how could you let him play you like this? How could you be so stupid? How could you just be this? During this time, I didn't even charge my phone. I wasn't even on my phone. I did not care. I did not shower. I did not brush my hair. I did not brush my teeth. I was literally just like, eh. My mom kept trying to make me eat, and I was just like, Mom, I'm like not hungry. You need to eat, Jade, because if you don't eat, I'm gonna make you eat. Like, what the fuck's going on, Jade? So she was like getting upset because I'm just like, I'm not hungry. Like, it was so weird. I was having a weird, I feel like I was hibernating into the person that I was going to start to become, you know, because I just didn't want to eat. I felt full. I felt no hunger. I just felt fed up. I took the time I needed. Me and my mom eventually started talking a little bit. She's asking me, like, is it about a boy? Like, what's going on? Don't really tell her much because it's so hard to like open up to her and tell her certain things because my mom, there's no middle. It's really calm or it's 100, and I just wanted her to listen, and I knew like, okay, she wouldn't listen. She would just be just freaking hot-headed and just pissed off that like my heart is hurting and this happened, or she'd be the opposite and be upset of like, why the hell are you crying over a freaking boy? Like, it's stupid. Like, he's not even your boyfriend, you know? Battle with myself, battle with my mom, battle with these two freaking boys, and I just want a do-over. I want to be able to go back in my head and rewind time. Like, what if I sit here long enough? Can I reverse time? Like, that's how I was really, you guys, like, something needs to be done. Because I was just upset. Like, I'm mad that I got my heart broken. Fix it. Fix it, Jesus. I took the 3-4 days that I needed, okay? 3-4 days. That's all you get, okay? No more. Cut it out. Stop being a little crybaby bitch. Stop. So, okay. That's it. That's all you get. That's all you get. And then I'm like, nope. That's all you get. Nope, 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 nope. Stop. That's all you get. 4th day, I woke up. I finally had a little bit of energy to take a shower. Took a shower, and I started to kind of feel like me, but not me. It was like a different version of me. I'm not gonna let anybody have vulnerable me. Is that even how you say it? No, probably not, but y'all know what I mean. Taking my shower, and I swear sometimes when you take showers, it's when you're thinking at your deepest. I don't know what the heck it does. I think the most when I'm in a shower. The most ideas, or I want to be so productive and tell myself like, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna get this done. Boom, you come out of the shower and it's like, what happened? Where'd it go? It's just gone. Get out of the shower, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna plug my phone in. Like, it's time. Gotta plug my phone in. We gotta get things going back to how they used to be. I need to get back to, you know, working with the peaches. Like, we need to get the ball rolling. Like, I've been on vacation long enough. We need to get it going. Plug that phone in, start getting dressed, getting stuff out of my book pack. My mom's telling me that we're gonna go to the library to get dressed, that's it. She's not gonna let me mope anymore. And I'm like thinking to myself, I already gave myself a time limit. And I'm already like, oh, I'm already gonna fight with her, because my mom just has a way of talking, and even now it was so triggering, you guys. Just being out there and just how my mom talks, and it's just, that's just how she talks. That's just how my grandmother talks. It's in a way of not asking, it's more of demanding. So it's so hard for me because there's just like no respect. I respect my mom to like a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? Especially when I was young, because just of everything. So when my mom would be like, even if she'd be like, pass me that, I'd be like, how you gonna talk to me like? Okay, it was just really hard. And for the mamas who do watch me, who are dealing with your children not respecting you because you're kind of like in the same situation as my mom and stuff, communication goes a long way. My mom is now learning how to communicate and talk to my sister. And I'm not talking about like ass kissing either, like just talking goes such a long way. That's how me and my mom's relationship got better, is like when we started talking instead of her just being like, I'm your parent, that's it, what I said goes, period. You know, if she wouldn't have, you know, dealt with her demons and stuff like that, and if it would have just been like a normal life, maybe it could have just been like, she said that and that's it, like I'm not gonna question it. But where we have went through so much bullshit together, it was really hard to like listen when she said 1, 2, 3. And I was like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know? So it was really, really hard. So I look at my mom and I'm like, okay, mom, I'm getting ready anyways. I was already getting ready. She was like, did I ask you that? And I said, no, ma'am, you did not. So I start getting ready, put my clothes in my backpack, get ready. And I already see that my phone, corner of my eye, it's just like ding, 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 ding. Like, you know, when your phone just like, you can just see it. It just starts like bling, 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 bling. That's, you know, like message, message, message. I was like, kind of just like, oh my God, here we go again. Cause I was on pause. I felt like I was on pause and now we are pressing play and here we go, right? So I grab the phone. I don't even look at it cause I'm like, I'm not going to do this right now. Like I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to look at it. Put it in my back pocket and me and my mom go to the library. My mom has to do some stuff at the library. So I go with her and she's like asking me like, are you over your funk? You good? Like what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I'm over my funk. I'm good now. She's like, for sure, because you can't be, you know, catching an attitude and I'm not going to be kissing your ass. And I'm like, I know, mom. I know. Like I'm fighting with her and she's like, you know what, Jade? You know what? And so we're just bickering literally as we're going to the library. And I'm just like, here we go. I'm just over it. We go into the library and my mom's telling me to fix my face because now I'm pissed off. And when you're pissed off, you can't really fix your face. It's really hard to fix your face. It's annoying. You can't. Even though I tell myself, even as a grown-ass woman, fix your face. It's really hard to fix your fucking face. My mom has to do some stuff on the computer and she pretty much just tells me just to chill. So I have my phone and I just take a deep ass breath and I'm like, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Because right away, I already see that Joe's trying to talk to me. Bubbles messaged me. The Peaches are messaging me. Sam's messaging me. The ex is messaging me. Skillet's messaging me. Not that like I'm chingonas, but like my phone was just popping. It was just, it wasn't any good. It wasn't like, hey, how you doing? It was just drama. So it wasn't even, I didn't even want it. You know, like I don't even want it. It's just a mess. It's nothing good. It's nothing that I want to see. I start going through the messages and I'm like contemplating like, should I reply from like the first message? Should I explain myself? And that's something that I still deal with now. And a lot of you guys are always telling me like, don't explain yourself, especially because how I was gone for a while and some people were chewing me out and I was explaining. A lot of you guys were like, you don't need to explain Naya. And it's something that I need to work on because I do that a lot. Like not just with fam bam, but with like family too. If I can't pick up their call or something, like I over explain, like if I'm going to be in trouble, even though I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm just like, oh, I'm doing that. Like I have to give them my whole freaking, like what I'm doing for the full day. For what? Like I don't get that same respect back. And I'm just like, dude, like chill. Like I get so mad of like how overwhelmed I make myself. Sometimes like just in my head, you know what I mean? And I just need to just relax. And half the time, some people that I still have in my life don't give a damn, you know? So they don't care if I'm like over here beating myself up because I couldn't answer the call or I couldn't, you know, lend them this or lend them that, and I'm over here over explaining. They're just like, don't care, you know? So that's what I was doing. And when I was reading this, I still remember the feeling that I get, because it's something I still get where you're like, oh my God, like, are they gonna even understand? They're probably gonna think that it's a lie, that I wasn't just like, you know, taking time for me. Like, why would I need time? Like, this is stupid. They're gonna be like, your life ain't that hard. Like, why do you need time? So I'm literally just fighting with myself, you know? And so I explained to Skillet that I went MIA. I'm just in my head. I just need the time. What's up? You trying to hang out? Like, right away, trying to be like giving, you know? Like, what do I gotta do so that you still stay in my life? And then the ex, I was just very I'm alive, leave me alone still, because he was like freaking out towards the end of like why I wasn't replying. And he was like messaging my friends trying to get a hold of me. So it was him tearing me a new one and then being like, oh, like something wrong? Like, are you okay? Like, why aren't you responding, you know? And then my friends messaging me like, hey, we're worried, to like, that's messed up. Like, you didn't even tell me what I did wrong. Like, F you too. And it's just, okay. Mrs. Bubbles asking me if everything's okay. Is there anything that she can do? And then she even messaged me too, like, okay, if you wish for me not to talk to you anymore, I understand. Just please message me back so I know that you're okay. The Peach is asking me how much longer I need, that this is very unprofessional for me just to like not message them, and if I'm going to quit, to let them know, because it's very rude to not let them know, because I need to find another babysitter. So I literally kind of just text everyone the same thing. Hey, I was having a family issue. For the ones that knew me, like, hey, I was just taking time for myself. But for Bubbles and Mrs. Peach, hey, there was something going on with the family, you know? Mrs. Bubbles deserved a better explanation at the time, but I just didn't even want to sit there and tell her like, hey, I'm hurting because your son hurt me. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to. Was it stupid? Maybe, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to sit there and do that, because that's still her baby at the end of the day. Joe asked me if I was okay, if I was still alive. Kind of insulted me a little bit, like if he thought like I was just gonna go and hurt myself over him. That's how I took it. Please message me back. Please don't do anything stupid. And it insulted me a little bit, because I was like, the nerve. I don't know. Is that a sick way of thinking? Is that a twisted way of thinking? I don't know. And if it is, don't judge me too harshly, please. I'm just trying to I'm being very open. And sometimes it's really hard when you're a little bit too open, where you're like, was that dark? You know, I don't mean to be. The last video, I guess I was too open and YouTube censored it a little bit. You guys were the ones who let me know like, hey, there's no ads being played. And I was like, wait, what? Say what? That's crazy. And then, yeah, you guys are freaking awesome, man. Every time I talk about you guys to like my friends or my family, you guys are just freaking awesome. I text everyone that the ex wants me to meet up with him. Like, can I talk to you? I need to see you in person. Left that on red, because I was like, for what? Like, for what? Just want to let you know that I'm okay. Like, I ain't trying to like, there's no need. Like, you know? And I was like, for what? For what? Act like I did die or something. Like, leave me alone. Joe messages and he says like, if we can talk, I just need to talk to you. I just need to see you. And then a couple hours later, I eventually tell him like, I'm good. Because I was like, I'm not gonna reply right there and then. I'm gonna take my sweet ass time. Me and my mom were home now. She finished what she had to do, and I guess she sees that I'm in a little bit of a better mood. She tells me that she's going to be going out to a bar with her friend, and that I have to stay there and I can't go anywhere, because just because I'm feeling better now, I'm not gonna be able to do whatever the F I want. You see things like that where it's like, why are you at 100? Just talk to me right. I just don't even like get ready. I just stay like whatever, you know? But I'm gonna leave. But I don't wanna argue with her, so I'm like, okay mom, like I'm not gonna sit here and do this with you. So she's like, I'm serious, Jade. I'm like, okay, me too. Like, I'm not going anywhere. Chill out. So my mom's getting ready. I always liked when my mom would get ready. Like, I like to see like do her makeup, do her hair, you know, look like a little baddie. So I'm like, okay. Just watching my mom, and she's like asking me like if I'm okay. My mom's so bipolar, so it's kind of like, she'd be like super mean to me, but then like check in like, you good? I'm like, yes, I'm good, you know? Just stay distracted, Alexis. Like, stay out of your head, whatever's bugging you, whatever's bothering you. I'm like, like, okay. Like, I will, don't even worry about it. And in the meantime, I'm already messaging my friend. I'm already messaging Skillet, like, hey, is there anything to do? Or if there's not, like, just come through anyways and we can just chill, hang out. Skillet already knows, like, as soon as my mom leaves, come over. Skillet is already hanging out with some people. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll just go to you then. She's like, well, just come get you. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll let you know when my mom leaves and then you can come get me. She's like, all right, bet. So my mom's getting ready and I'm just acting like I'm gonna go to sleep, get my pillow, and I start to lay down. My mom just looks at me and I guess she just sees that, like, even though I was gonna go out, I'm still like in my head and sad. So I'm not fully myself, I guess. And my mom can see that. Checks on me one last time and asks me, like, do you need anything? Are you good? Are you sure you're good? Like, I can stay if you want me to. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, for what? Like, for you just to continue to be mean and be upset because you didn't get to go out, or, you know, whatever it might be. Like, I didn't want to deal with it either, you know? So I was like, no, Mom, I'm good. I'm fine. She leaves. I don't leave right away just in case my mom's staying outside, checking to see if I'm leaving, you know? So I took a good hour. I message Skillet and I tell her, like, I'm ready, coming through. Skillet ends up coming over and it's just her. And I'm like, where's everybody else that you were with supposedly? And she's like, oh no, like, I just wanted to just come. Like, you didn't seem like you were good. And I was like, yeah, I'm not. And so me and her were just talking. I was just pretty much catching her up, like, of all the, like, what was, like, going on, and me not just, like, feeling like myself, me feeling stupid. And she's like, dude, like, stop, like, you don't give yourself enough credit. And I'm like, nah, F the credit. Like, I literally just feel so stupid. Back in the day, I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes. So me and her are just smoking cigarette after cigarette. And I'm like, so what do you want to do? She's like, we can do whatever you want. Like, you know, where you want to go? I'm like, I don't know. But I do know, like, I do want to do something. She decides to hit up one of her homegirls and see if there's, like, a party or anything. The homegirl's like, we're just having a little kickback, not a party, but you're more than welcome to come and stuff. She's like, okay, cool. So we freaking ride the bus over there. She had gotten dropped off by somebody and we just, like, rode the bus out there. Riding the bus, and the whole time I'm like, let's just go back. Let's go back. My fun meter is already dying. Like, let's just go back. She's like, no, come on, like, stop, don't get like that. Because I would always get like that. Even when we go on rides or something, I'd be like, okay, I don't want to go anymore, like, let's leave the line. And she'd be like, what the fuck, no, come on. So technically it'd be her fault when we do dumb things, because I always wanted to back out and she was like, no. We ended up showing up at the party and there's, like, a few people that were at the other party. So I'm like, oh shit, like, everyone just knows everybody. So I'm just, like, you know, just chilling. She sees the person that she normally talks to. She's like, hey, I'll be back, right? I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So weird. I think I just, like, radiate weirdness or something, because I would try and talk to people and it makes me so mad. This is, like, something that you look back on and you're like, why did you even bother? Like, honestly, why did you even bother? And I just get, like, so upset. So, oh, it irritates me, like, so freaking bad, you have no idea. I'm just sitting there and I'm, like, trying to, like, converse, like, oh, hey, you know? And I was like, oh, hey, to, like, this one girl. And she goes like that. And oh my gosh, I don't know why, but it was just the way that she, like, did it, where, like, it still has stuck with me, where I'm like, you bitch. Because it took a lot for me to go, like, hey, what's up, you know? I don't know why. I don't know why I cared, or I don't honestly know why I even gave a shit. Because, oh, like, if I was some peasant or something, I was just like, you lucky I'm hurt. You're lucky I'm hurt and I'm still trying to heal, because I just would have just, like, I just felt so dumb, just because, like, it took a lot for me to be like, oh, hey, hi, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I don't know, like, you know that feeling when someone just like, why are you talking to me? Like, it was that type of thing where, like, it still, like, messes with me, where I'm like, damn, like, the way she did it, because, like, it took a lot, you know? And, like, in a weird, sick way, I'm like, this is why some people snap, because, like, people are just mean. She embarrassed me. Some people looked over and kind of, like, giggled, like, I was just, and then I was mad at myself, because I'm like, Earth to Alexisjayda, where is, like, you got me, like, where are you? Like, what's going on? Like, it literally felt like, I felt weird. I was just like, oh my God. You know, there are some times where like you get punked, you know, and you're like, oh, that was embarrassing. But it's just weird when you're at a low and you're trying and then you get punked and you're like, what's going on? What's going on? You know? So I get pissed. I'm just like, I bitch. But she like still looks at me like, what are you doing here? You know? And so I'm like, I don't know, like, what are you doing here, dude? Like, I'm waiting for Skillet to come back and so we can just like dip. I'm like over the party. I can have fun, you can have fun. Like that's kind of like what I was like feeling. Was it fair? No. Did I care? No. I was pissed. I was like, like my shield is down right now and that girl hurt my feelings. So I was just kind of like in a bitchy mood, like honestly. I go and I try and find Skillet, and as I'm looking for her, I'm kind of having like PTSD of when I went to go look for Joe. And it's so weird because like it literally was like that. It really was just like, oh my God. Like I was feeling weird. My stomach was hurting. I was like, oh, like what's going on? So as I'm looking for her, I see someone familiar and she's like, oh yeah, she's in there with so-and-so. And I'm like, really? Doing what? And then she's like, and I'm like, yeah, stupid question, my bad. I don't know why I even asked. I just like wait outside like a weirdo while she like finishes up, and then she opens the door and I kind of startled her and I'm like, let's go. And she's like, what? Like, come on, like let's just have fun. And I'm like, no, like I'm not having fun. I'm gonna go. I was like, you can stay and I'm just gonna go. She's like, no, we came together. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm just gonna leave. I'm not feeling it. She tells me to go and sit down and have a drink or two, and I'm like, no, like I just want to go. Like I was just in that mindset of like, I just want to go. I felt kind of bad in a way because I'm like, oh, I'm ruining the fun, but I didn't care. Like I really just did not care because of just like how I was just hurting, and I'm like, it's too soon. Like it's so weird. Like when I just like look back, I'm like, why couldn't you just like snap out of it? But it's because we have to go through certain things, and then when you're ready, you're ready. You know what I mean? You can like tell someone like, this is the formula, but if they're not ready to read the formula, it's really just pointless. Like honestly, it's just freaking pointless because they're not gonna read the formula and they're gonna wanna do it whatever the hell they want and make their own formula. She tells me to go sit down, and she kind of like tells me pretty loudly, and I don't know why. I felt kind of dumb. I was like, because she was being loud, you know, and I was like, and she looks at me and she's like, are you okay? Because she's not used to me being quiet either. Like I usually like say something back, you know? So she's like, oh my God, like what's going on? You know, kind of like confused because I usually like banter back, you know? And I was just like my girl balls are gone. I don't know. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go sit down. So I go and sit down, and instead of her following with me, she goes in right back inside to that room. So I'm sitting on the couch, and I literally just start going on my phone. And I asked the ex, what are you doing? I know, you're probably screaming through the phone right now. Like, why? What are you doing? I know. I text him, what are you doing? And he doesn't message back, okay? He doesn't message back. He's probably like, she was acting hard to get. Boom. Gotcha, bitch. Honestly, that's probably what he was thinking. He doesn't message back, so I don't even bother to even try to message Joe. I'm like, Like, I was really like, no. Like, no. So, I'm just sitting there, and I just feel dumb. I'm like, what the fuck's going on with me? Like, he took my balls. He took my balls. He took my lady balls. So, I'm sitting there, and I freaking see Mojo. He has his drink and he sees me. He's like, oh, like he probably thought I was messed up or something. And I looked so sad probably. So he probably was like, gore. So he sits down next to me and wraps his arm around my neck. So like sits down and goes like that. Like if we're cool or if we're like buddies or something. I move right away and I'm like, what the fuck? And I just look, and he's like, damn girl, you can make your face look real ugly. You know that? Ouch. So I look at him and I tell him like, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Okay, Mojo, get away. And so he's like laughing, and people were kind of making like a noise. So people are looking at us like trying to read if it's like something's gonna pop off, not so that they can intervene, so that they can like watch, right? And so he's telling me like, I don't know why you have an attitude with me. I did do a solid and I let you know about, you know, homeboy and stuff. And I was like, okay, you want a cookie or something? He just starts laughing. He's like, you know what? You get cheated on by the ex. Joe doesn't even get with you and still cheats on you. Maybe you're the problem. Oh, it was like he slapped me without even touching my face. And I looked at him, and before I could even raise my hand, which don't be hitting, I was just like, I don't even want to touch you. And I just get up and I leave, go to the restroom, and I bawl, okay? And when he had said his little remark, everyone's like, ooh, right? And kind of just like hype him up. So I feel real stupid. I go to the restroom and I'm like crying, low-key hoping that Skillet finds me. And it's like, why are you crying, you know? But she never comes. So I literally have to sit there and cry a good minute and then finally like let myself out. Come out and he's right there again. And so I'm like, what the hell is your deal? Like, what do you want? Like, leave me alone. I'm like, pretty much like, what do you want from me? He apologizes, like, you know, I went too far, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. You're just so damn mean, girl. And I'm like, I'm not mean. Like, I'm really not mean. I'm like, people just say I'm mean when they can't get what they want out of me. He's pretty much like, don't flatter yourself, bitch. Don't flatter yourself. He's like, psh, what the hell do I want from you? What can you give me that I want? Huh? Don't flatter yourself. And I was just like, not that like I thought I was like chingona, okay? It was just like any type of like little confidence I did have, it was just like boom, 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 you know? I just look at him and I just bite my lip so that I don't cry. Why do we do that? I don't know why. Like, just let it out. Skillet finally pops up. She sees who it is and she goes, what the f you doing here, you creep? Like, just like, you know, because it really was like, what are you doing here, you know? But I guess our friends ran in the same circle. It's a small world. He looks at her and then pretty much just tells her that like we're the same. And she's like, okay. And like, get the fuck. So she was just like being mean. She was doing what I wanted to do. And then I couldn't because I had lost my girl balls for a second, you know? I was thinking I was being a little badass and getting them together by taking the time that I think I needed, but I wasn't ready to come out. Even though I thought I was not. She convinces me to stay pretty much just on the couch. She goes and has her fun. I'm sitting on the couch and my phone just starts just going bing, 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 bing. I took one of these off. I answer it because I don't even look at it and I'm just trying to occupy myself. So I answer it, I'm like, hello. And then he was like, hey, like, what are you doing? It was like one of those like, oh my god, like I'm surprised like she answered, you know? And I'm like, I'm at a party, what's up? Like, if I'm having fun, huh? I'm busy right now. And so he's like, oh, okay, like where? Like maybe I can pull up and we can talk. And I'm like, I don't think parties are our thing, you know? And he kind of like chuckles and he's like, I forgot how funny you were. Like, oh my god, I miss you so much. And I'm just like chill. What do you want, Joe? You know, like pretty much like, what do you want? And he's like, I just want to talk to you. And I'm like, why? Did Mojo call you? And he's like, Mojo? Why the fuck is Mojo calling me? I was like, because he's here. And he's like, why the fuck is Mojo there? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, so what, you and Mojo? And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, no. So I found myself over here explaining why I was at a party where Mojo was. Mid-explanation. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm explaining to you, first of all. And so I get upset, as I should, because this is none of his damn business. Why I'm at a party with Mojo, even though I'm not at the party with Mojo, but Mojo's at the party, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, he didn't tell you about the party? And he's like, we're not really talking right now. I was like, oh, why? Because he told me what you were doing. And he's like, no, it's not even about that. I was like, because technically you shouldn't be mad at him for what you were doing. And then he's like, oh, so you're taking up for him now? And so it was just like a weird conversation where I'm like, why did I even pick up? Why didn't I see who was calling? Like, it's gonna go nowhere. I hang up, time passes by, and I'm literally just chilling on the couch. Just chilling on the couch, just waiting for pretty much just for it to end. I keep thinking like, okay, once it's done, gotta go home. I should have never left. This is going to be an argument with my mom too, because what if she's already back and she's just waiting for me to pull up? So I'm just having an argument in my head about what's about to go down, right? So I'm just sitting there and I keep seeing Mojo on the side of my eye. And it just feels like he's watching me, and maybe I was just being like overly paranoid, but I'm like, he's just probably trying to keep an eye on me until like he can go in for the kill, pretty much. Like he can go in for when I am like intoxicated, because he probably thought I was drinking because I had a cup, but it was of water. Like I was like, like I'm not going to risk it, especially since my radar was already like creep, right? Time goes by and I'm sitting on this couch and I feel someone sit like really close next to me. I'm not on my phone, I'm just kind of like just zoning out, and I feel a hand grip my thigh. It was so weird because like I didn't even get paranoid. I kind of knew that it was Joe. It was Joe. So he has his hand on my thigh and he's like, can we talk? And instead of me being like, why are you here? You know, like how I wanted to be in my head, I was like, sure, like let's go talk. We go outside and he like right away just starts hugging me. He's hugging me and he's kind of like behind me and we're walking as he's hugging me, okay? I missed him, you know? Like I missed him and I'm just letting him hug me, and then I pull back and I'm like, no, like this isn't okay. You think that it's okay and it's not okay. And he's like, can we just talk? I'm like, yeah, we can talk without all the touchy-feely. Like there's no need for touchy-feeliness. So we're walking and talking and he's pretty much just asking me to let him explain the situation. It was the most weird conversation that I ever had. It honestly felt like he was just trying to see what he could say to like BS me. It didn't feel like a genuine convo. Like it felt weird to the point where I kept zoning out and I had to remind myself that I'm sitting here walking with this person and we're talking about how he pretty much like broke my heart and he's trying to BS me into believing that what I seen was wrong and it was just timing and he's sorry and he wish he could go back, but at the same time he's glad that it happened because now he knows who he really wants. And it was just so weird where, so all these feelings that I thought I had for this person just like, I don't know, it's literally like magic. It wasn't like oh, like now I see you as ugly, you know, it wasn't something like that. It was just like, oh, those feelings are just completely gone. Like it was so weird. Like I don't know even how to explain it to you guys. It was just like I felt like weird where it was just like I felt like he really thought I was stupid or something, because he's like, no, I'm really glad that, you know, you caught me. It was like, it was meant to happen like that, because if it wouldn't have happened like that, then I never would have known. And like I had to do that because if I wouldn't have done that and hurt you, then I wouldn't have known. And it was just like weird. Like he was trying to excuse himself of being such like a shit person so that he could understand that he like, so like he knew like, oh, okay, like I had to burn myself to realize that the stove was hot. And it's like, but for what? Like, but why? Like, I don't know. It was just so weird the way he was trying to justify his actions, where it was just like you're not making the situation better, you know? And he was like pretty much saying that like, yeah, I, you know, thought like I could, you know, get away with it. And I thought like at first, like, so I don't know if he was like a little intoxicated or what, but he was just like saying things where it's like, either you're just really, really comfortable with me, or you are drunk and you don't know what you're saying. So you're saying too much. Like, have you ever talked to somebody and then at the end of the conversation, you're like, I said too much? Well, yeah. So he just kept talking and he was like, I didn't think honestly that you're going to be mad this long. Like, I thought like you were gonna get over it and stuff, and I thought you were just gonna be like, oh, okay, like, you know, you're right, I shouldn't have been, you know, opening up the door, like you could have been going restroom. And it was just like, it was just so weird. Like he was pretty much like it's your fault you caught me. So at the same time, like, I didn't expect you to be mad at me because like you shouldn't have been like opening doors in someone's house that like wasn't your house. But at the same time, like, it is my fault, but like I'm glad it happened because like now I can see. So you follow me? So I was just like looking at him, and he was just like, what? Like, you know, after when I was looking at him, I'm like, I wanted to say so badly, like, you are really stupid. Like, you are so stupid. Or I'm like, oh my God, he's used to talking to girls like this, and they're just like, back then we didn't call them pick me girls, but he's so used to talking to girls where they're like, yeah, it's my fault, like, you're right, I shouldn't have been going through your phone, that's like an invasion of privacy. Like, he's used to that, you know? So I was literally like just looking at him where I was like, damn, I went from one dude where like he really thinks I'm stupid to like another dude where like he really thinks I'm stupid, you know? And then you like start thinking like, holy shit, am I stupid? Or then you start thinking like, is this how relationships are? Because you, I don't know about you, but I have seen women act stupid in relationships where they're like, I know, babe, it's my fault, you're right, babe, I know, I'm crazy, I'm so sorry, you know what, it's me, it's not you, it's me, you're right, I'm sorry, do you want me to make you anything, do you want me to, you know, do you want me to run the shower for you, do your feet hurt, do you want me to massage your feet? Like, I have seen women do that, or they really do think that like it is their fault, you know? So I'm just sitting there and I'm just like waiting for this convo to end because I'm really tripping the F out. Like, I really am. And I kept thinking like, was there something in my drink? Was there something in my drink? Is that why Mojo was watching me? Like, was there something in my drink? Am I losing it? Because the way that he was talking was just like, it's your fault, but at the same time, it's not your fault, you know? And like, I really, really like you. You know, you were like ignoring me, and like, I'm not like used to that and stuff. So, you know, just to be honest with you, like, I continued talking to the other girl for a little bit, and like, you know, we did more stuff, and like, I don't know, and then like I realized like, no, like, I don't want her. So like, I completely cut it off now, because like now I know like it's you, it's not her, and you just understand, and you can't get mad at me for continuing to talk to her because you told me to go for her. And it was just like watching someone put their foot in their mouth, because I could have went without hearing all of that. Like, you didn't have to tell me any of that. I could have went without it. It's like, yeah, and then my mom, you know, my mom was telling me and stuff that like I messed up, and you know what, she's right, I did, and like, now I know, like, I got it all out of my system. And I'm like, and so I was like, he must be drunk, like, he must be like, he has to be intoxicated, because like, you don't talk to me like this. So I'm like, or was it like just like all fake, and like he does talk like this? And I'm just, so I'm like literally still holding my drink to the point I pour my drink out, because I'm like, something has to be in my drink, or like either I'm dreaming, I'm hallucinating, or like something's going on, because like he's not making sense. Like, I don't know who this person is in front of me right now. Oh my God, maybe he's just more comfortable. And we're literally just like, he's pretty much, I would say we're literally talking, but I wasn't. It was just mostly just him talking and explaining of like pretty much him sleeping with the girl, even after him continuing to talk to her, then him thinking, coming to a realization of, I don't want her, I want Lex, but I'm gonna tell her everything that I did. I know some people like to know that kind of stuff, like, what is everything that you did when we weren't together? But I could have won without. I could have won without knowing, because I wasn't even going to attempt to give Joe a second chance. I just wanted the friendship. I didn't want anything else, just because of, I knew what to expect when it came from the ex. I just didn't know how to deal with the pain when it came to Joe, because I cared about Joe more, you know? I don't know how to explain it. Like, it sounds weird. In my head, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense to me, where I'm like, yeah. So we continue to talk, and my phone starts to ring, and it's Skillet. And she's asking like, where the hell are you? Everyone's saying that you just took off with some dude, and that you got in his car. And I guess like they were like making up stories. So she's popping off because she thinks that I got kidnapped. And I'm like, I could have, like, you were just in the room the whole time. So I'm like messing with her. I'm like, no, I'm outside, I'm talking to Joe. Joe? Why are you with Joe? Oh my God, you cannot be alone. Really? Seriously? I tell her like I'm just outside, that I'll be inside in a little bit. And she's like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, okay, bye. And so Joe's like, she really don't like me, huh? And I'm like, I don't even like you. And he starts to laugh and he's like, so what do you think? And I'm like, about what? And he's like, what I just said, like, what you think? And I'm like, I'm sorry. And I know people hate that sometimes, where like they over here spilling their heart to you and you're kind of like, what? It's like, just because you're over here spilling your heart to me doesn't mean like I necessarily have to like take you back. And just because like you came to the realization, like what if I came to the realization of like, you ain't shit, period. Like, it's you, like it's you, you know? He's like, you know, and like I told my mom and she was telling me that like it sounds good what I'm saying, and I smiled because I'm like, oh, that's cute. Like he was talking to Bubbles, you know? And so I smile and then it like fades away, and he's like, what, why'd you do that, what happened? And I'm like, it could never work. And he gets like mad. He's like, what the fuck you mean it can never work? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I like poured my heart out to you, and like, you know how many girls like would want to be in the position you are in right now? And when he said that, I was like, Joe, I don't like you because like your family's rich, okay? Your family's rich. You're not rich. Like, I'm not one of those girls. I'm not one of those girls that are like, oh my God, I like that car. Oh my God, I like what he's wearing. Like, I am not that type. Like, it insulted me that he even was like, you know how many girls, like, so when I looked at him, he corrected himself very quickly and was like, no, like, like, you see, I can't even like talk to you right. Like, there's so much I want to say, but I can't even like, the words come out and it's not how I want them to like to sound. And he's just like going off, and he's just like, I'm sorry, like, I'm just sorry, like, I'm sorry I messed up, and I feel like you're not giving me another chance, and like it's pissing me off because everyone else can get another chance, and don't even get mad about me saying that, but I feel like how come I can't get a chance? And I'm like, I don't want to give anyone any more chances. Like, I don't, like, it's not just you, I just don't want to give no one any more chances. Like, I just need to like focus on me, and like I just don't want to do this. And he like gets upset. He's like, for real, like, you don't even, like, I just literally poured my heart out to you. And I think that was like probably his first time of like pouring his heart out to maybe anybody. I don't know, I don't want to toot my horn, but the way he was like upset that I wasn't just like jumping at him, he was just like, the nerve. You could tell he was like, the nerve that you have. The nerve that you have, girl. He starts getting really annoyed with me, and it's pretty much like upset that I'm not jumping at the opportunity. And in his convo of him talking to me, he was telling me that I could stay in the guest bedroom, that Mrs. Bubbles said that I can stay in there and I'll have that place to be. But I didn't like where it felt like, let's say I were to stay in a relationship with this man, okay? It would always feel like he is like, anybody could be in this situation, but I chose you. I don't like that. Don't act like you're doing me some charity work, please. How he kept saying it, and even though he didn't bring it up all the time, or, you know, maybe like it was just that moment, but I didn't like how it came out. So even if he wasn't sober, it's something that he probably thinks about, you know, where it's like his friends or whatever, like, oh, they're only talking to me because I'm so-and-so and we own this and we own that, you know? And I didn't want to have that over my head. I didn't want him to feel like, oh, she lives with me, but because like, not that he allowed it. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it came off and how he said what he said. Like, it just didn't rub me right, and I didn't like how it felt. I didn't like how it sounded. So at this point, we're getting kind of loud. Like, we're talking pretty loud because he keeps trying to talk over me and like, no, like, you're not understanding. And I'm like, no, like, I'm understanding just fine. And so we're like arguing, and then we get someone's attention from the party because they see that we're like, you know, walking and stuff, like, hey, y'all good? And he's like, yeah, we're good, what's up, man? And so I just start walking to the party because I'm like, like, I'm not gonna sit here and do this. Like, I'm not doing it again. You got me fucked. No. So as I'm walking away, Joe gets pissed off and grabs my arm, like really rough, like extremely rough. I get pissed off and I grab my girl balls back from him. So I don't know what happened. My girl balls came back and I was pissed. Turned around and just read him for filth. Then he had the nerve to say, come on, babe. You know you're just gonna forgive me later. You know, like, you know, me and you, we work. Like, it's like we're meant to be together. Like, come on. Like, just let your pride go. Like, come on. Like, come on. Like, the more I was letting him talk and the more I was thinking, he never got to be told no. He wasn't used to the word no. Mommy and daddy probably don't tell him no. The girls think that he's a hush. No one has ever told him no. He's always gotten probably whatever he wanted, and that was the only thing that I wasn't going to, and I was like, no. I continued to walk. I go inside and I tell this kid, like, let's go. Like, that's it. Either you go or you're not. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm done being nice. I'm pissed off. Like, I want to go home now. So you stay or you go. I don't care. Let me know what you're gonna do. And then she's like, no, like, I'm ready to go. Because I think she already seen that I was at a 10 and I wasn't gonna have it and I was gonna leave with or without her. Because like how earlier I was like, oh, like in my feelings and stuff, like she knew like I wasn't playing no more. So me and her, we get to walk and go to the bus stop, okay? I don't know where Joe went, disappeared, who freaking knows, don't care, right? So we're getting in the bus, she's like, yo, like what happened? Like earlier you were just like really chill. I was like, no, earlier you were like being a bitch and you seen that I was still like down in the dumps and you were trying to be rude, but like I'm good now. Like I'm so tired of everybody walking over me. And that even goes for today. Like it's always like that. Anytime like I'm in like a mood or something, or like I'm down and I'm low, I do see that people tend to be like, oh, this is the opportunity, like let me be a bitch. Like that's fucked up. Anyways, on our way home, and then my phone just starts going and I'm thinking like, oh, it's Joe. Like I got kind of chingona for a second. I'm like, oh, it's Joe. Nope, it was my mom. Where the F are you? Why did you leave? Come back right now. So we start fighting because I'm trying to explain to her, and even though I was in the wrong, I was still trying to explain to her of like, oh, I went out with my friend, like, oh my god, relax. Like she's trying to set boundaries. I know she's trying to be better, but at the same time it's like, are you though? I get mad and I'm like, Skillet, we're not going back over there. Like we're not going back to my place. Like I'm not going back. I'm like, we're not going back. Like that's it. I told my mom, I'm like, nope, I'm not going back home. Can't talk to you. Was I wrong? Yes. And it was at that point where it's like I knew I was wrong, but I couldn't put my foot off the gas. I was like, because like, I did not care, because I was just so fed up. My mom's telling me she's gonna call cops on me. She's gonna report me as a runaway. And I was like, do what you want. You know who you should call the cops on? Your husband, not me. I'm like, you're gonna put me in jail, but you're not gonna put him. She didn't really call the cops, but she was just trying to scare me, because I remember being pissed and telling her like, you called the cops on me? Like you really did me like that? And she was like, I never called the cops on you, Jade. Like, no. So anyways, so I was pissed. That made me pissed off. We go to Skillet's house, me and Skillet are talking. My phone, I get a freaking text message and it's Joe. And Joe's like, can we please talk? Like, I don't know how to say things and they come out wrong. And he keeps saying like, I'm used to telling girls whatever, and them just being like, okay, because he's like, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, it's me. And like, it was just like, damn, the privilege that this dude has, like he doesn't even know like how intense it's coming off. Like it's very like disgusting. Like it's just very like so unattractive, like just so oof. Me and Skillet get to talking, and then we're just talking about pretty much what happened. She's like, oh my god, like just calm down, like maybe you just gotta hear him out. I'm like, nope, I don't want to hear him out. I don't want to hear anybody out. Like I'm literally like just like done. So Skillet's getting to this point where she's kind of like getting worried about me. I say like worried about me, but I don't really think that like I was like popping off like crazy, like fuck everybody. Like it wasn't like anything like that. It was just, I was just fed up. I was talking correctly. I was like, nope, I don't want to do this. I don't want people to walk over me, blah, 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 blah. So she ends up giving me like a pillow and stuff, and she's just like, you know what, maybe you just need to go to sleep and like chalk it up, and like tomorrow's a new day. And I'm like, you know what, yeah, sure, whatever. I text my mom like, hey, I'm with my friend, I'm not out doing anything stupid, I'm not doing any drugs, I'm not drinking or anything like that. I know you're gonna be worried, but I don't want to go home to you and fight with you. My mom's like, get your ass home now. Love you, ma. That's it. Like I just left it like that, like I'm good, so that she wouldn't worry. We ended up going to sleep. I woke up and I have a message from the ex. He's telling me that Skillet reached out to him for him to check up on me. Now that was a huge slap in the face, because she's supposed to be my girl, but I shouldn't be surprised because like Skillet has already done me dirty, right? But I'm pissed. So I'm like, dang, I cannot catch like a break. And before I like even respond to him, I pop off on her and I'm like, dude, like you really are a shit friend. Like, you really are. You're not a good friend at all. Like, why would you, like, I'm trying to get rid of this dude and you're giving him reason to message me. Why would you tell him, I'm just concerned about you, like, I don't even know what to do, like, you don't even talk to Joe? And I'm like, like, why does everybody want me to, like, to stay, like, in bad situations? Like, I don't understand. So I started attacking her, and I'm like, you know what? Like, not physically, but I started attacking her emotionally. I'm like, you know what? I don't understand, like, why you want me to be like you so bad. Like, I don't want to stay broken. I want to get out of that. Like, I am tired of just being broken all the damn time. And I don't want bad. I don't want the ex. I don't want Joe. I just want good. Like, I'm tired of it. And for you to, like, kind of still want me in that is disgusting. And so I don't even let her finish whatever she's gonna say. I grab my backpack and I get to walking. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but I get to walking. And I'm just like pissed. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I hate where I'm at in life right now. I'm not going to school. I go to school like off and on. And when I do go, people just think I'm showing up to fight. And like, the teachers don't even give me a break because they're just like, why are you here? Like, wasting my time, me having to catch you up and then you not even be here. I just got out of that freaking toxic relationship. And like, in my mind, I already know that I'm probably am gonna go back. But for the time being, I'm good with being on vacation. I just pretty much broke up with Joe, which I thought it was gonna be amazing. I thought he was different, but he's over here like thinking like he's high and mighty. And just because like he got like the looks and the money that he has, he's a full package. And then I'm like pissed off because I'm like the peaches and stuff, like I want to go back to work so bad just to keep busy, but it's such a toxic environment. And so I'm just going off in my head, and I get a text message, and it's from Mrs. Peach, and she asks me if I'm gonna go in. Like, hello, question mark, like, you haven't been responding, are you coming in, what's going on? And I'm like, oh shit, like I forgot to even reply. I forgot to even like, oh shit. So I message and stuff, and I'm like, yes, like I can be in today. Do you need me to go in today? She says yes. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can go in today and I can just like saw all this out. So I start walking towards the job, and that is a freaking long ass walk. Like, it's so far. So my mom starts calling me because now she's awake, and she's like, where are you? And I'm telling her like, I just want space from you, because I know if I start and tell her like, oh, come pick me up, I'm gonna go back to the house with her. And I want to go get money, and I want to stay busy, because they're just like going from one toxic place to another. And I was like low-key like just like upset, like I don't want to talk to you, Mom. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it was wrong, because I should have listened to her, and I should have went back home, especially because she wasn't with the stepdad or anything at the time. But I should have went back home, but I didn't want to, because I just didn't want to hear it. Was I wrong? Yes, but I was a child and I was rebelling, okay? So I tell her pretty much what I'm gonna do. She leaves it alone, and that's it. She probably was like, good. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole other thing I need to like talk about, is how I always just felt like it was okay me telling my mom what I was gonna do, because it was just better like her just being like, okay, the problem's over there, and her not having to deal with me, because that was just too much for her. You know what I mean? So anyways, I go to work, and as soon as I open the door, it's nothing but freaking drama. Where have you been? What have you been answering? She's like so upset because she is the one who had to fill in what I was doing, and she wasn't used to cleaning, cooking, freaking wiping the baby's butt, laundry, whatever task that needed me to do, she wasn't used to doing. Okay, so I'm going to end the story time here. I'm gonna end the story time here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry it's on like on a cliffhanger, but honestly, I don't like, pretty much every story time is gonna be on a cliffhanger when it comes to the Nanny series, because like it's continuing, you know what I mean? But thank you guys so much for understanding. I hope you guys understand. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching my story times. If you guys enjoy my story times, please make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and leave a comment down below, especially if you want to be notified. It helps YouTube know that like, okay, this is something that you like watching. This is something that you want to be recommended. So it helps, you know, YouTube notify you like, hey, Lex posted today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much again for all you guys' love and support. It seriously means a lot to me. It never goes unnoticed, and I just really appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Quiero mucho. Besos a todos, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.